Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new video for you guys. So I've seen this video going around on YouTube. I think it was Samantha March. She had done a collaboration with Allie Glines. They had done a collaboration video, and she had specifically said, I think there were like 13 or 11 questions about eyeshadow palettes, which is the smallest one or the biggest one or the most expensive, most cheapest palette in your collection. So I thought this would be a interesting video to show you guys. Obviously I don't have a lot. I have just started my channel, and before that I honestly didn't have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in general, and I had Makeup Revolution ones, and that is way back at my home in India, so I'm not sure whether it is there or my mom threw it or I threw it before coming here. I'm honestly not sure. So anyways, this is an interesting video, so let's go with the video. Because honestly I have seen this video but I haven't seen much, so I might do some mistake in this video. I am not sure, but that's totally okay. This video is called eyeshadow tag. I'm gonna share with you all my eyeshadow palettes which I have in my collection, which is basic, which is colorful, which is neutral. And I don't have a lot of eyeshadows from all the brands. I have more from specific brands. And if you are new here to my channel, my name is Sharmeen. I do makeup related videos, I do reviews, tutorials, everything related to makeup. So if you come across my channel, do subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm uploading a video. So I actually went to her channel and I have screenshot all the questions for the eyeshadow palette. So according to that I can obviously tell you, because I honestly have a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills, Huda Beauty, Juvia's Place, Colourpop, Morphe, and I don't have a lot of palettes from all the brands because I tend to not buy a lot of eyeshadow palettes, because obviously you don't need a lot, but I tend to do reviews, so I need to count actually how many eyeshadow palettes I have. I haven't actually removed all the eyeshadow palettes, so let me just check one. So in total I have around like 70-75. I am not actually counting the Makeup Revolution ones because I don't actually use those a lot, and I have those a lot, so I need to actually declutter all that because they tend to come out with so many new things. Let's begin, because it's gonna be an interesting video. I don't have very expensive palettes as compared to the brands that come out with expensive ones, but it's okay. So firstly, which is your newest eyeshadow palette? So my newest eyeshadow palette in my collection is the Natasha Denona bronze palette. I've already done a review on this palette. I really love this palette a lot. It is a basic bronze palette, but I don't have a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Natasha Denona, and I have tried a couple of them. I don't have a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Natasha Denona, and she usually comes out with eyeshadow palettes with tons of golden bronze shades. So I actually got this and I actually love this a lot. Not everyone would love it. If you have other palettes from Natasha Denona, obviously you don't need this, but this was my newest addition in my eyeshadow collection. So I really love this a lot. The formulas, the shimmer metallic shades, the top chroma crystals, they are stunning, and the matte shades are also very beautiful. I really like this eyeshadow palette a lot. I would highly recommend this eyeshadow palette. If you don't have any other eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona, this would be a really great basic bronze palette in your collection. So I actually really like this a lot. Then which is your oldest eyeshadow palette? Actually my oldest eyeshadow palette, as I told you, I really don't even have any old eyeshadow palette. So actually I don't have that palette. As I said, I think I threw it off, so I am not sure. But after I came here, and in India I actually didn't have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, so when I came to Dubai like around 4 years back, my first eyeshadow palette was the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. So this was my first actual high-end brand palette. So this was my oldest one. I think I should count this as my oldest one. This was the limited edition one, and she discontinued this. Please kindly ignore the noises because I really don't know what the people above me, what they do in their apartment. I can honestly hear everything. Anyways, she actually discontinued this palette, and after that she had, she rebranded the palette, and I don't have that palette. I have this, and I actually like this a lot. Shimmer shades, metallic shades in this palette, I really love it a lot. And the matte shades are very basic for everyday, and it suits every skin tone. You have a nice black shade, you have a couple of matte brown shades to actually put it in your crease. And I actually use this a lot. I just put this eyeshadow on my eyes whenever I want to go out and I want just something on my eyes. I usually use this a lot. This is my, honestly, this is my everyday kind of eyeshadow palette. So this actually is my first ever high-end brand palette, so I actually wouldn't get rid of it. But I really like this palette a lot. I haven't tried out the newer one, so I am not sure, but I think it's the same, only she has changed the packaging and all that. And I like Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes, but there were some hit or misses recently. But other than that, I really like eyeshadow palettes. So going on to your most expensive palettes. So the most expensive palette that I have in my collection is the Natasha Denona bronze palette, as well as the Natasha Denona bronze palette. I have this. I think this is the expensive one. Obviously the price is more, but I really love the eyeshadow palettes. I actually hoped I wouldn't love the Natasha Denona palettes because they are so expensive, but I really loved it, and I would like to collect all of them because they are so good. The metallic shades are so nice. I'm gonna show you the Love palette. She has a lot of expensive palettes. So this was the Love palette. As you can see, it has a bunch of berry tones, pinks shades, and a lot of shimmer metallic shades, duochrome shades, chroma shades. So it looks really nice, and as compared to her other palettes, this is, I think, the affordable, I won't say affordable, her cheapest palette is I think for around $20 or $25. I'm gonna share that also. But I think for the price point, and if you want to try something from her, I think this is a really nice palette, and it is a very compact palette. They are expensive. Her big palettes are very expensive. Then the most affordable eyeshadow palette, most affordable is obviously my drugstore ones, which are the Wet n Wild ones. They are so cheap. I have like all of them. I have like 6 of them, and honestly I love these eyeshadow palettes a lot. It is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Wet n Wild is my favorite brand, and I love these eyeshadow palettes. They are cheap, but it's not like for cheap the quality of the eyeshadows is bad. For the price, obviously the packaging is cheap because it is so inexpensive, but the eyeshadows are really great. They are stunning actually, and they have a bunch of metallic shades. They have 2 different pans for transition shades, so I'm just going to show you a couple of metallic shades. So can you see the quality? They are so good. So this is actually my cheapest and most inexpensive eyeshadow palette. I honestly, from drugstore, I don't have a lot of palettes. I only have from Wet n Wild. I don't have anything from Maybelline, L'Oreal. I don't have. These are very cheap, and these are the cheapest in my collection, and I love them a lot, and I would highly recommend if you are a beginner, and even if you really know how to do your eyeshadows, these are really great, and I would highly recommend. Which is your most colorful palette? I think the most colorful palette is, I think I have, is the Morphe into James Charles palette. I had some hits or misses with the shimmer shade, but if you ignore that, the matte shades are actually pretty good. These are actually, I had the bigger palette, then later on he came with 2 different sizes. That is a different story, but this palette is really nice if you want to create something very colorful. You have nice pans of eyeshadows which you usually use every day, which you usually use in your crease. You have white and black shade, you have a champagne shade to highlight your brow bone. This is a really nice eyeshadow palette if you want something very colorful. I have more, but I think I would prefer this palette over other palettes because I just dunked my finger in the eyeshadow. Ew. But I think I would prefer the James Charles eyeshadow palette over the other palettes if you ask me about the most colorful palette. So I think this would be my most colorful palette. Obviously I have the ABH Norvina pigment palettes, but still they are expensive ones and I think that would be much more preferable. So we have that. Then which is your smallest palette? Smallest, you even want to see the smallest palette that I own? This is the Natasha Denona Mini Glam palette. I mean, this is the smallest palette that I have in my collection. This is the cheapest one from Natasha Denona. So I have this and I really love this eyeshadow. I mean, they are very basic and the shimmer shades are so good. I really love this, and you can obviously do smoky look also with this, but this is really nice. And this was the first eyeshadow palette that I got from Natasha Denona, and then I liked it and then I went with other eyeshadow palette because I didn't want to actually waste my money. So this is the eyeshadow palette which I have from the Natasha Denona, which is the smallest eyeshadow palette I have. Then the biggest eyeshadow palette, I think the James Charles one, biggest eyeshadow palette that I actually have, because I don't have any other bigger palettes than that. I mean, I really can't store it in my drawers as well because it is so huge. So I think that is my biggest eyeshadow palette. I mean, I would still buy that palette because it is so colorful and it is really nice palette. So that is actually my biggest palette in my collection. Then show your favorite palette from a favorite brand. So as I told you, I have eyeshadow palettes from just couple of brands. I don't want to mention actually the same palettes for two different categories. If most favorite eyeshadow palette from a favorite brand, I mean, this has to be the Huda Beauty Medium Obsessions palette. I mean, this was one of the best launches of 2019 and it is stunning. I mean, she has different eyeshadows for different skin tones. I mean, that was a genius idea because not a lot of brands do that. The medium one specifically is my favorite because I like this for on my skin tone. It has pink neutral colors as well as brown neutral colors, and you have a bunch of shimmer metallic shades, duochromes, top coats. So I really love this palette a lot, and it is not very affordable, but she has a lot of sales going on her website. It is very compact, and somehow the mini size palettes are much better than the bigger ones from Huda Beauty. I don't really know, but the quality of these ones, mini ones, are a lot better than the bigger palettes. And somehow these three eyeshadow palettes, medium, light, deep, I mean, they were amazing. I mean, this was one of my best purchases in 2019 for sure, and I mean, it's still my favorite and I really love this a lot. And we just have few categories left. So show the palette with your best memories. Actually, I mean, I honestly have my best memories with this Huda Beauty Rose Gold Textured palette because I mean, when I came to Dubai, I wanted something for makeup and I wanted this palette a lot. When it came out, I actually couldn't buy it, but on my birthday, then my hubby took me to Sephora. He actually got this for me. So I think this is the best memory I have with any of my palettes. So I think I would actually put this because honestly, I have purchased all the palettes by myself. So this was specifically the one palette which he actually took me to Sephora and he purchased it for me on my birthday. So this was actually my birthday gift, but I think this is my best memory with the eyeshadow palette, so I would actually put this out. Then we have the most used palettes. So recently I actually have the Too Faced Born This Way eyeshadow palette. This is the recent addition to my eyeshadow collection, and this is a very beautiful basic eyeshadow palette because usually I don't put eyeshadows whenever I'm going out. I usually don't do that, but when I want to, I usually use this, and it is actually very beautiful. You have a lot of mattes, metallics, shimmer shades which are actually inspired by the different skin tones. So I really love this palette. I mean, these two palettes are my favorite for every day. I don't use Huda Beauty textured palette a lot because I mean, I can't really find that again. I mean, it is gone, so I wouldn't be, and I really don't want to use it a lot because that is my first palette. So whenever I'm going out and if I want something, I use this because it is a very pretty eyeshadow palette. So this is my most used eyeshadow palette and I really love this palette a lot. The shimmers is beautiful. The matte shades are also gorgeous. They are very similar to Huda Beauty neutral palettes, the mini obsessions palette. So I really love this, and I have done a review also on these. So this is one of my favorite and most used for now. Obviously quarantine, and obviously we are not going out. That is the most used palette for now. Show your everyday palettes. So I think everyone would actually agree with me, but that is the Soft Glam eyeshadow palettes, but because this is the most basic neutral everyday eyeshadow palette. ABH has amazing eyeshadows, and I don't think anyone would actually disagree with me, but this is the most basic everyday eyeshadow palette that anyone can use. And I mean, you have a lot of basic shades. You have pop-up shimmer metallic shades that obviously you can use if you want to amp up your look from day to night time, or just every day. I mean, if you are office going, or if you want just something, I mean, this is a great palette. You can obviously find it on sale. I mean, if you would ask me any basic neutral palette, I would actually recommend this because her formula is really great. The mattes are very buttery. The shimmers are really good. So this is a very good everyday palette. Then we have the eyeshadow palette worth the hype. So actually I am gonna say the Anastasia Norvina volume 4 because it is a very neutral palette as compared to the other 3 pigment palettes, because those are a lot more colorful and they have a lot of vibrant colors which not a lot of people use. So I think this is the eyeshadow palette that is worth the hype, and the price point is really good, and you get 25 eyeshadows for $60. Anastasia palettes are for $42 and you get like 12 or 14. You get like 25 shades for $60, and I mean, she has added 2 glitters. They look very beautiful. I really love this eyeshadow palette a lot. This is the most hype up palette, and according to me, I really don't know about others, but I mean, it was worth the hype. I really love this eyeshadow palette a lot, and from 4 volumes I would actually recommend this one to everyone because it is the most neutral palette that anyone can use even on any occasion. This is a really nice eyeshadow palette. Then show a palette not worth the hype. Okay, so eyeshadow palette not worth the hype is the Fenty Beauty Snap eyeshadow palettes. I mean, I regretted this palette so much. I'm really happy that I didn't buy more of these. They were really not good at all. I got just 2, but they really didn't work well. The shimmers were not great. The matte was okay. I mean, I really didn't like it at all. Seriously, I gave it a bad review on my channel, so I really didn't like it. I mean, the price point was good. I mean, I mean, the idea behind the snap eyeshadow palettes, you can mix 2 eyeshadow palettes and snap it together. I mean, that was good, but somehow the quality of her eyeshadows is not that great. So I mean, these were not the hype. I mean, it was very hyped up, but I don't really think it really needs that much hype because I really don't like this eyeshadow palettes. I mean, I really don't like it. I simply didn't use it the second time. It is just sitting in my collection and I really don't like that. So this palette doesn't actually need any hype. I'm not sure whether I have finished all the tags: newest, oldest, expensive, affordable, everyday. Okay, so I think I have actually completed all the tags. So yeah guys, I just want to share my experience and my favorite brand eyeshadow palette for this video. So let me know in the comments below which is your favorite eyeshadow palette or everyday palette. I'll put in the description all the palette related things, but if you want to share, I mean, which palette you love, which is the hyped up one, all that related things, please do share in the comments below. So even I'm gonna enjoy that, because I mean, this was a nice video to do, because usually I really don't do such kind of videos. I really don't know why, but I mean, it was fun. So maybe next I'm gonna share with you all my eyeshadow palettes which I have, but I mean, that is gonna be long. But anyways, this was my eyeshadow palette tag, and I'm going to link the YouTube channel of Samantha March and Allie Glines channel also in the description below. So go there, subscribe to their channel as well, because they were the ones who created and started this tag. So anyways guys, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below about your eyeshadow palettes. Do share it with me, and so that I can also, you know, I have an idea what you guys like from the eyeshadow palette collection. Please give a thumbs up, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.